What is the best piece of advice that you would give to your younger self?
Pivot. If one thing doesn't work out, pivot. And if that doesn't work out, pivot. Like, you have to be relentless, never stop. And just because it didn't end up the way you thought it was, or it was going to be, or, there are a lot of ways to get what you want. You just might have to go another route with it, right? So if you want to get into a college and you don't get accepted, go to a community college. Like, do you really want to get into it bad? And at the end of the day, whatever route you take, be relentless, have that tenacity, and if the juice is worth the squeeze, just stick with it and pivot and pivot and pivot until you get to that goal.
Absolutely. And so since you're currently in the industry of real estate, I'll just ask you a couple questions on that. What do you think are the 3 best cities with the hottest real estate market right now in 2022?
So I meet with an economist once a week. It's Austin, North Carolina, and Tennessee, Nashville.
Why Austin, Texas?
Well, everyone's moving here. Austin's amazing. It was a small, big town, and now it's a big town. And it's authentic, and there's something to do every day. And it's not just for a specific, group of people. You can be whoever you want to be based upon the events you go to. So there're just so many festivals and all kinds of other things that you get to choose from. You have the opportunity to truly be authentic. And I think authenticity is what people crave for in definitely today's society.
Absolutely. And so for someone who wants to get started either investing in or selling real estate, what is your best piece of advice for someone who's pursuing the real estate industry?
Start specializing in real estate finance. Not many people do. Understand what your clients' investment strategies are, right? Because based upon that, it's not necessarily a thing. It could be, is this property bringing in income, right? Or do I want to buy an apartment complex, right? So what is your strategy, and learning those, preparing yourself and having that knowledge before you meet those clients is everything, because it gives you the passion that you need and the knowledge to take care of the people you care about.
From what you've seen in the business world or the real estate industry, whether it's a certain skill to possess or an attribute to have, how can someone become wealthy in 2022?
I think everything starts with, let me just say this, you can never go wrong if you care about people. No matter what industry you're in, if you care about people, you can't go wrong. Again, authenticity. People crave that, they want that, and they can see that. And it's contagious. All you have to do is be knowledgeable, right? You add your knowledge to the care, which starts within your heart. You can't lose. It doesn't matter what industry you go into.
If you had to start from zero and you had 1 year to make $1 million and your life depended on it, what would you do?
You find the quickest way to get to the goal, right? So you look at an industry. I would look at the timeline in which you can make that income. One of the best things about real estate is you can make up for lost time, right? One sale can give you 3 years, salary within a 3-month period. And so looking at the industry based upon, performance and what that brings to you is very important. And then you look at how tangible is that, right? What are my qualities? Does it match up to it? And at the end of the day, are you willing to dig in and do whatever it takes to be an expert? If you can be an expert and put the time in, there's true success in that.
What is your best piece of advice to someone who's starting out in the real world today?
I would circle back around and say, have an idea and a passion about what you want to do and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, pivot. You pivot and pivot and pivot, and eventually you hit an act of divinity that sets you on the course of your life, and that's where you find that purpose.
What would you say is the importance of following your passion?
Being true to yourself. I think we sell our soul for a like on something, and if you can get down to the root of having a clean heart and being a good person, it will all fall in line. There are a lot of people that aren't like that still find their way. But at the end of the day, did you live an authentic life? Did you change someone's life? Because at the end of the day, when you die, you can't take these things with you, but what you do take are your experiences. The people's lives that you changed, and the knowledge, and you take that with you, and that's it.
That's amazing. And I just have last 2 questions. These have been amazing answers for us. I'll ask you, since you're in the sales of real estate and you sell some pretty high volume real estate, how can someone kill it in sales in 2022 with whether they're selling a product or a service? What is the secret to sales in 2022?
You can read a script all day long, but until you actually know what you're talking about, When you get into real estate, like, oh, read these scripts. No. What's best for your clients, right? It's knowing the market. It's being able to answer the questions they're going to ask before them asking, right? It's knowledge. If you have the understanding and you have the knowledge, you don't need to sell because they know that you know what you know. And that's so important.
Love that. And then my final question would just be, and again, you can really take this in any way that you want. What is the greatest lesson that you've learned throughout your lifetime?
Never give up. And I would say when you hit the bottom of the barrel, you find things that are inspirational that you can draw from, and you have to draw from those passions. You have to draw from other wisdoms and relay those things to yourself. Like if you've got to put it on a note card and stick it at the top of your door, on your steering wheel, and you say those things out loud, like those affirmations, they make the difference because words have the power of life and death.